Okay, so I know it looks like I'm yet again changing subject, but this came to my mind a little bit easier writing wise than the other one that was on the list. So I'll quickly just do something talking about this. PT, for the two people not aware of its existence, is a playable teaser for the non existent game made by Hideo Kojima and cancelled by the profits forward company Konami. Kojima has since made Death Stranding ported to PC and is currently working on an unannounced project. Konami has continued to fuck up their own franchises since.
That popular series is coming to Stadia. Super Bomberman R Online.
My guess is that he might eventually do a horror game, but I sincerely doubt that Silent Hills will ever happen, especially as it was set up in PT. But during my time doing research for Silent Hills, and even talking about like Hideo Kojima, I found a video compiling evidence about Silent Hills having never left production, and I think it's time to Occam's razor this theory. First, I would complain about how the word theory is used, but that's kind of on MatPat using it so casually it's kind of entered the mainstream. Like, literally, the other week, he just used the equivalence of headcanon to be like, hey, that's the theory now. And now for the Occam's razoring, written in order of shortest to longest to explain, and ease to do it. Let's start with probably the easiest I point out without needing to show any proper video. Namely, the engine that Konami and PT were using, the Fox engine, has been retired from use in the next Pro Evolution Soccer in place of Unreal. But hey, at least it isn't Unity. For the Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain reveal, Kojima posed as a fake person in a fake studio to advertise the Phantom Pain. A lot of people did find out really quickly, as the fake name was an anagram of Hideo Kojima. So how is the public demotion, Kojima quitting, rebuilding his studio, and making a game inspired by his rebuilding the studio not a trick? Fucking come on, man, get your head out of your ass. Also, he told Geoff last time, but clearly didn't do it this time, so if he's not letting his one of his closest friends in on the thing, it's like, it doesn't really seem like you're being... When shooting footage one day, Kojima tweeted out a photo of a drink on a chair. The video referenced instance of it happening in one of the Silent Hill games. Shortest answer, but it's the only one you need. There's no cup holders in this image. So where else would he fucking put it? Some people have gone back to the original tweet that teased the reveal of Kojima's next game, the later revealed Death Stranding, as a potential teaser for Silent Hills. I don't see it. There's people claiming there's emphasis on the silent, which there fucking isn't. People also point out at the Pyramid brand pencil as a clue, which, no, it's a pencil brand. Like, I found a place near me that literally sells 7 versions of this brand. Like, it's just a pencil, it's just a fucking marker. It's not Pyramid Head, and especially since I'm pretty sure Kojima wouldn't use fucking Pyramid Head because he understands the fucking subtlety of Silent Hill more than fucking the Americans that constantly kept using Pyramid Head. Okay, this theory pissed me off probably the most because it genuinely misunderstands anger towards a fucking inept company. The video claims that with all the tweets Del Toro has made were a plant, which is more of a deflection than proof, but also fuck off. Why would he bring up something unprovoked? I don't know, maybe because it wasn't unprovoked? Gee, why on earth would Del Toro, at the subsequent game's fucking announcement, bring up the fact that the last game was fucking cancelled by an inept studio? Gee, I don't know, fucking idiot. Del Toro has gone on record multiple times to talk about the assholes in suits, also known as producers, getting in the way of creatives. Hell, creative freedom is one of his most recent talking points, and in fact is the reason Del Toro signed up with Netflix, who will give the most random shows 2 seasons to build an audience, which is more than most shows get when TV was king. Ideas don't just vanish once a project is scrapped. Hell, some of my scripts don't get finished, but they'll eventually get reworked. This was originally a rant on Konami's fuck ups and continued chasing the wrong ideas, but I think a debunk video is a little bit easier, so to say that's wrong and I can create a script as to why. The paperback tweets. It's an ordinary item, something that apparently Kojima brings pretty often to the office, and it was just one time where out of nowhere he was just like, this one doesn't talk, and it's just like, yeah, just sometimes the idea floats back into your head, especially when the talking bag was a fucking thing in a game of a teaser that you made sure that got onto the store beyond Konami's reach because Konami wasn't the one that even published it. It was fucking Sony that made sure it got out to the people. It's a massive misunderstanding on how the process works. It assumes that just the second a project is canceled, it just disappears, and it's like no, not that's not true at all. Like when Scalebound was canceled, it's not like the ideas of fighting things went away or like the ideas splintered. It was just okay, the shared world RPG game is now one of the games Cry Games is working on with Platinum Games. Astral Chain is the one where the Bond idea was a little bit more strengthened. It's a series of ideas just splintering and being reformed into a better concept. And honestly, if Scalebound does ever come back around, I wouldn't be that surprised if they were like, hey, let's give the old college try now that we've got more powerful systems. Because the original Xbox One was very shitty and didn't really have enough power for the game that it was trying to literally sell. The other idea that people claim is still related to this whole thing of he is not done with Silent Hills is originally during the time before PT was released and subsequently dropped by Konami, even though Konami should have just accepted the fact that horror titles don't explicitly sell well, like even Resident Evil has problems hitting past a certain mark. Kojima was visiting Iceland, reportedly for location scouting. Okay, quick thing. Let's assume that Kojima, who was able to guess Konami removing his name from the boxes of games he made, didn't see his eventual demotion and firing coming. Even if he didn't see it, this is not explicitly proof of anything related to Silent Hills. This is just leftover ideas being used again. A location Kojima was inspired by and wanted to use, which his next game completely let him because he had free creative control. Hell, the reason Low Roar's in the soundtrack is because he heard Low Roar in Iceland. It's just what happened. It's not like it's some deep fucking conspiracy about whether or not someone was able to hint at something like Silent Hills. No, this is just he really liked the location. That's the reason why he did all this. It's the reason why you spend 20 minutes on the Black Beach just getting explained to at the end of Death Stranding. It's because it's literally one of his favorite fucking locations. It's astounding sometimes, to be completely honest, of just people not seeming to understand how creative ideas just don't disappear. Admittedly, I have not done much on the creative end of like creating video games or anything like that, so it's not like it would be one to one, but certain ideas still stick around. I know that because I deal with that with these fucking scripts I write for this fucking show. Which eventually ends with me being like, okay, can I use this in a different way? At the same time, it's not like I'm going to just scrap the idea if I'm like, yeah, no, this doesn't work. It's just going to be like, all right, I'll rework it. Because that's what you do. And honestly, that's the last thing I can really say on this whole thing. Kojima is a fantastic creator, able to tell interesting stories in spite of studio meddling. And that should be praised. I salute Mr. Kojima, and I can't wait for whatever his next title is. Plus, out of all the canceled titles on the market, the main one that should definitely not actually canceled in the end is really Scalebound.